Good morning, Wet Shavers, coffee lovers, and podcast listeners everywhere. It's Mark with GeorgeToon.com. It's time for another second cup. So grab a cup of coffee, kick back, relax, put in those earbuds, adjust that speaker volume, and let's talk some wet shaving and a few other things in podcast form. What is Second Cup? Well, just to bring you up to speed, Second Cup is a podcast that will give you some additional information that didn't make the Monday morning mailbag deadline. This might be something that is time sensitive. For instance, a sale that could be ending before the next 3MB airs, or a piece of late-breaking information the viewers have passed along that is equally time sensitive, or something else regarding the wet shaving world that needs to be broadcast in a timely fashion. And we'll also have some time to chit-chat and discuss some other things like coffee, movies, streaming shows, books, that sort of thing. So thanks for tuning in to Second Cup, and I hope you subscribe to the podcast, where you can also find episodes of the Monday Morning Mailbag in podcast form. I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me. We'll get the show underway in just a moment. Thanks for joining me. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the October 6th, 2025 episode of Second Cup. October 6th already. We're full into October, or the start of October. My gosh, where's the time going? Where is 2025 going? Because when I look out the window as I'm recording this on Sunday morning, it's a beautiful autumn day. It's going to be like 81 degrees. There's a crispness in the air right now, but I almost said Christmas. That'll be here before you know it. No, there is a crispness in the air right now, and as the day starts to wear on, it's going to get really nice and warm and sunny. There's a beautiful blue sky. The leaves haven't even fully changed colors yet. There's still a lot of green out there. I'm expecting them to just burst forth with a lot of color any day now. But it's just a beautiful, beautiful day. And for the beginning of October, that's just fantastic because, we got some cold days right around the corner. I'm wondering if Halloween this year is going to be warm or wet or cold. Last year it was kind of cold, as I recall. But maybe this year it'll be a little warmer for all the trick-or-treaters. We'll have to wait and see. And I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me this morning. Hang on, let me get my mug right here. Hang on, let me get a sip. Oh yeah, that is terrific. Once more, we're using Black Buffalo Blend. Thanks to RH Dave Wilson for this. And we're using our Cleveland Browns coffee mug. A big thank you to Jim from Northfield for this. And we're wearing our Buc-ee's t-shirt. Thanks to Beth Jones for this. So we got a lot of B's here. Black Buffalo Blend, Browns, Buc-ee's. It's a beautiful cup of coffee this morning. Absolutely fantastic. One more sip. Hang on. Oh yeah, that is really, really good. If you're looking for a good, nice, hearty, strong cup of coffee, check out Bison Union Company's Black Buffalo Blend. Thanks again to RH Dave Wilson. Really do appreciate that. And the reason why we're using the Browns coffee mug, and a big thanks to Jim from Northfield, is because the Browns are playing in London this morning. They're playing the Minnesota Vikings, and it's being streamed on the NFL Network. So if you have the NFL Network, you'll be able to watch it there. And so that's kind of different. That's why we're enjoying our coffee in the Browns coffee mug with the Buc-ee's t-shirt, Black Buffalo Blend. Yeah, hang on. Okay, one more sip. Hang on. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Well, we've got a great show for you this morning. We've got I just saw this. It came into my email. It's an email alert from Phoenix Shaving. Boy, they have got a double drop that just hit this past weekend, right at the time I was editing Monday Morning Mailbag, which is why we do Second Cup, because at the time I'm creating the show, the Monday Morning Mailbag show, I can't always get everything that arrives in my inbox or from viewers to include in the show. So that's why we created Second Cup, so we can kind of catch up a little bit. And boy, we got a couple of great items from Phoenix Shaving. Also have some really, really terrific updates from viewers. So all in all, a really, really terrific show this morning. So thanks very much for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me. Great to be with you this morning, as always. Let's pay a few bills and we'll get the show underway in just a moment. Now, as we mentioned at the start of the show, Phoenix Shaving has an epic double release that they just launched this past Saturday, right while I was right in the midst of editing and creating the Monday Morning Mailbag, which is why we created Second Cup, so we could do a little bit of catch-up on certain things that may have missed the deadline for the Monday Morning Mailbag. And happy to talk about it with you this morning. Here it is from Phoenix Shaving as they write, "Attention, meet the Moon Striker brush and Malbulge is back." Now, Striker is spelled capital Stryker, and Malbulge is spelled capital Malbolge. The Moon Striker brush and Malbulge are back. An epic double release. This weekend is nothing short of epic, folks. We're not just launching, that's in quotes, we're not just launching our brand new Moon Striker brush, but also bringing back one of the most beloved, most whispered about fall classics in Phoenix Shaving history, Malbulge. Now here's the scent profile of Malbulge. Tobacco, citrus, anise, musk, patchouli, burnt sugar, black pepper, and benzoin resin. A scent so rich and enchanting, you'll probably wear it into the holiday season like your favorite wool sweater. Wow, this one sounds wonderful. And as I write here, Malbulge, yes, people, this is one of those truly special Phoenix Shaving scents that has amassed such a large cult following over the years. At one time, I'm pretty sure Malbulge products were being used like Bitcoin. Seriously, it would not be so odd to see a random Malbulge posted in the groups. It was secret code to those who knew. Oh, and the many ways people pronounced it, music to my ears. So maybe I've got it right. Maybe it's a little bit off. Malbulge, Malbulge, Malbulge. I'm not sure. Maybe it's Malbulge. I'm not sure. But I'm going to go with Malbulge because that's how I found the pronunciation online just a few moments ago. But what is it? Malbulge is something bold and teeming with woody and aromatic accords, while a subtle undercurrent of sweetness flows alive underneath. Blood orange and bergamot bleed like electricity into a beating heart note of black pepper and benzoin resin, along with licorice, star anise, and burnt sugar. All this set against a backdrop of base notes like patchouli, dark musk, and tobacco. Wow. They continue here. This classic autumn blend is perfect for men looking for just a touch of something different this fall season, though I bet you reach for it all year long. Wow. And he writes here, yes, this year includes a matching cube too. They also have shave soap, aftershave and cologne, Star Jelly aftershave, body soap, solid cologne, again, the Cube 2.0 pre-shave, EDP, shampoo, conditioner, beard balm, beard oil, and vent. Plus, we have some cool art, mugs, and shirts. They've got everything Malbulge, so check it out. We'll have a link below. It's back from Phoenix Shaving. Malbulge, give it a look. Next up is this beautiful new shaving brush from Phoenix Shaving that they're just launching this past weekend. Really remarkable. And let me just say before I go on with the description here that the artwork is inspired by the 1902 silent film Trip to the Moon by Georges Méliès, which was groundbreaking for 1902. And right here from the internet, they say, A Trip to the Moon, Le Voyage dans la Lune, is a groundbreaking 1902 silent film by Georges Méliès, known for its imaginative storytelling and pioneering special effects. And it's got that iconic rocket in the eyeball of the moon. Maybe you've seen that. If you've never seen this silent movie from 1902. Punch it up on YouTube. Many versions up there have been restored. Pretty amazing for 1902. Really, really remarkable what Georges Méliès did with film and special effects back in the day. It was probably stunning to audiences when they first watched it. So this is where the inspiration from all the packaging and artwork comes from when it comes to the Moonstriker shave brush. And we'll get into that. And as they write here, Shave Cadets, meet the Moonstriker shave brush, a double homage to vintage shave tech and vintage sci-fi cinema that just hits, as the kids say. Some releases feel so inevitable they might as well have been written in the stars. The Moonstriker is one of them. Why? Because today, which was this past Saturday, our time of launch marks exactly 123 years, October 4th, since Georges Méliès' Le Voyage dans la Lune, A Trip to the Moon, premiered in the United States. And here's the kicker. The Century Brush Company's Canal Street factory was only a 10-minute subway ride from the Eden Musée Theater, where Méliès' rocket famously struck the man in the moon's eye. Any one of the 31 workers employed there in 1902 could have sat in that audience, their heads swimming with lunar dreams, before returning to their bristle-setting benches. The coincidence is almost too perfect. Cinema's first space fantasy unfolding just steps from the factory floor of one of shaving's forgotten artisans, Leopold Asher Brush Corporation out of New York. A space-age revival with a touch of cinema magic. Back in mid-century America, Century was a quiet player in shaving gear. Collectors know Rubber Set and Ever Ready. Century is the brand you find less often, the one whispered about in forums. Most of their brushes were practical, marbled Bakelite, smooth resin, tidy and conservative. But every so often, Century let their imagination drift off-world. That's when the so-called rocket brush was born, an atomic age oddity with a flared skirt like rocket exhaust nozzles, jaunty pink-colored rings, and that familiar stamp, Century USA, set in rubber, sterilized, pure bristle. It was shaving gear inspired as much by pulp sci-fi as by grooming tradition. Sounds familiar, eh? Enter the Moonstriker. The Moonstriker reimagines Century's rocket for modern hands. It's scaled up for a more substantial grip, created from high-gloss acrylic in cream with a new bold oxblood stripe and engineered to outlast its mid-century ancestors. Unlike vintage casein or brittle plastics of yore, this acrylic won't yellow, warp, or crumble. It gleams like cream and shrugs off water, soap, and time itself. The Snickle Way. Inside, we set our newest synthetic knot, a 24mm hybrid Snickle synth, a faux badger blend with a unique fan bulb profile. Expect soft tips for comfort, firm backbone for punchy performance, and fast loading from even the hardest soaps. Not to mention bristles you don't need to baby like animal hair. In short, it's a beast, a brush built for orbit, not obsolescence. Now here's the heading for the next section. Fan plus bulb equals beast mode. When you deep dive the forums, you'll see the eternal debate. Fan for face lathering? Bulb for backbone? The Snickle Synth Hybrid says, why choose? We've fused the two. This knot gives you feather-soft fan tips that stimulate the skin, and behind it lies a dense bulb core that refuses to collapse under pressure. You'll feel it in the load. Soap dives in quickly like a fan, but the brush keeps its shape and push. No floppy flop, no limp, couldn't handle that soap moments. Because the bulb core is doing the heavy lifting, you get real backbone. Want to press into hard pucks or milk your dense soap? Snickle delivers. Longtime fans who remember our Duro knot from years back will love the Snickle. In fact, you might say this is grandson to the Duro. As a synthetic, it rinses lightning fast, no water logging, full shape drying, and no funk. And unlike some pure fan synths that sag or feel rubbery, Snickle holds its loft proud. You get the best of both worlds, silky flow plus structural integrity. That's the kind of hybrid the Shave Cadets dream about. Inspired by Méliès's moon. If you didn't already guess, our name and logo pay homage to Georges Méliès's 1902 masterpiece, Les Voyages dans la Lune. That's a trip to the moon. My French is not very good. Méliès, part magician and part filmmaker, conjured exploding lunar creatures, painted mushroom forests, and fired a cannon straight into the moon's eye. His dream launched an entire genre. Heck, this is the grandpappy of Star Wars as far as I'm concerned. Century's rocket brush and Méliès's rocket share the same DNA as Phoenix Shaving. Whimsy, optimism, and a dash of the surreal. They remind us that everyday mundane projects, whether a film prop or a shaving brush, can carry cosmic wonder. And here's some poetry and timing. For decades, Méliès's film was thought lost until a hand-tinted reel resurfaced and was restored at the end of 2011 and shown again to the world in 2012. That was the same year we began our own little rocket, launched with nothing but soap-making passion and imagination. 2 different rockets, one cinematic, one aromatic, both reborn in 2012. Coincidence? We think not. Laugh out loud. When you line up Méliès's A Trip to the Moon with Apollo 11, the similarities are downright mind-blowing. A bullet-shaped capsule launched skyward, explorers bouncing across an alien surface, magic mushrooms, then plunging back to Earth to splash down in the ocean and be rescued. 70 years before NASA, a Parisian magician filmmaker had already storyboarded the moon landing. Coincidence? What say you? Rediscovering the Century rocket, a true space oddity. This homage began with a chance rediscovery. For the life of me, I cannot remember how I first came into possession of the original Century rocket brush. Maybe it was picked up at an antique market, maybe handed off in the shuffle of a meetup. However it arrived, it was forgotten, tucked into a box until I stumbled across it again while unpacking from a cross-country move. There it was, grinning up from the carton, my Century rocket. Oh yeah, I thought, I forgot all about you. The timing was perfect. I fell in love all over again. The retro-futuristic lines, the sci-fi shape, the strange beauty of an atomic age relic hiding in plain sight. This was so Phoenix Shaving. Leaving it unresurrected would have been a crime. And while Century Rocket was never its official name, you won't find a 1950s ad boasting about it. I think my nickname fits. Look at the tapered body, the flared skirt, like fins, the playful pink rings around the collar. This wasn't an accident. In the late 1940s and 50s, American design was drenched in rocket dreams. Tail fins on cars, starbursts on clocks, chrome-plated lamps that looked ready for liftoff. The Century rocket was born of that same cultural fever. Maybe it was for the misses. And here's the most intriguing wrinkle. Was it even made for men? The cream and pink of the original brush feels more vanity table than barbershop. By the 1950s, women were being sold leg shaving creams and pastel razors in magazines like McCall's and Ladies' Home Journal. Companies were eager to tap the women's grooming market. Could Century have flirted with that trend too? Dressing up a bristle brush in atomic curves and feminine hues for the modern housewife? We may never know, but the possibility makes this already obscure design even more fascinating. A lost space-age artifact that might have doubled as a beauty tool. Fun fact, why sterilized matters. That bold sterilized stamp on the base isn't just marketing, it's history. After anthrax outbreaks in the 1910s were traced to unclean animal hairbrushes, New York's Board of Health in 1920 required all shaving brushes to be sterilized and labeled. By the time Century's rocket rolled off the line, likely between 1950 and 1955, sterilized was both a reassurance and a badge of modernity. The Moon Striker in short. Now here's the whole wrap-up right here. A modern homage to the rare atomic age Century rocket brush. Cream and oxblood acrylic handle, built to last. 24mm hybrid snickle synth knot, soft tips, firm backbone, lather machine. A design echoing the very first sci-fi film ever made. Back in orbit. Century has always been the underdog of vintage brush brands. Collectors know Rubber Set and Everready, they stumble less often across Century. That makes the rocket design even more obscure, even more collectible. It's not just a brush, it's a cultural artifact, a relic from an age when space travel was still fantasy, but its curves had already landed in American bathrooms. Boom! When I hold it now, I don't just see a shaving tool, I see an artifact of optimism, whimsy, and imagination, one that resonates perfectly with Phoenix Shaving's ethos. It also feels darn good in the hand, solid and substantial. Everything you've come to expect from our Phoenix Shaving brush line. And so after decades of silence, the Century rocket is back in orbit, reborn as the Phoenix Shaving Moon Striker, ready for many, many more missions into the future. Shave on! Note, if you have any more detail on this particular model brush by Century, Leopold Asher Brush Corp of New York, please shoot us an email. It would be wonderful to fill in some of the historical gaps before they are lost forever. Write support@phoenixshaving.com. Let me read that to you one more time. It would be wonderful to fill in some of the historical gaps before they are lost forever. Write support@phoenixshaving.com. There you go, folks. And here are the approximate specs on it. One more time, the complete length is 4.5 inches. The width at its widest point is 1.85 inches or 47 millimeters. The width and narrowest point, 1.35 inches or 34.3 millimeters. The weight is 3.2 ounces. The knot is 24 millimeters. The handle material is acrylic. It's BPA free, it's phthalate free, it's PVC free, and it's lead free. So there you go, folks. My gosh, that's an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous brush. When it arrives in my shave den, we're going to be doing a review of it. It looks absolutely beautiful. And yeah, it does have a rocket kind of look to it. The tapered base, it looks like a skirt, and it kind of looks like rocket launchers on the bottom. And it does have that kind of feminine color theme to it, but I don't think that's off-putting at all. That really is kind of neat. I am looking forward to holding this brush in my hand, building a lather, just kind of loading it from the tub of a Phoenix Shaving Shave Soap CK6 and doing a face lather and a bowl lather. Oh my gosh, I am really, really looking forward to the Moon Striker shaving brush from Phoenix Shaving. Folks, we'll have links below. Check it out. Hey, Rodney Ripplinger checked in again, and he recently introduced us to a lemon aftershave that comes out of Turkey. Now, I can't remember exactly how to pronounce its Turkish name. It's 80 degrees, Turkistik limon, Sizaji kolonyasu, something like that. But it's known as lemon aftershave on Amazon if you're looking for it. And comes in two different sizes. It's a powerful antiseptic, great for sanitizing hands or freshening up. It's a refreshing splash with a crisp citrus scent, a cooling agent, often used after shaving or during hot weather. It also has cultural significance in Turkey. Now, Rodney followed up, tell us a little bit more about his experience with it. And he says it comes in different sizes. Mine is a 750 milliliter bottle. I filled a small spray bottle from Walmart with some, and I have it in the car. It is very cold when sprayed on because of the alcohol. The alcohol evaporates almost right away, and then the scent changes a bit. Not exactly a lemon scent, but nearly so. I like it. I got mine from Amazon because I just wanted to find out what it was like. Other places have it really cheap, but they are mostly overseas, so there would be freight. It might be worth looking for somewhere else in the United States. I have been busy, so I haven't had a chance to do that. Mine was around $21, should last a long while. So there you go again, folks, lemon aftershave from Turkey. It looks like a terrific aftershave. You get a lot for the $21. It'll last a good long time. Seems to be refreshing and with a lemon-like scent. Not exactly lemon, but citrus and some lemon mixed in, I guess. Sounds terrific. Rodney, thanks again for the update. Really do appreciate it. Rodney Ripplinger checked in one more time with some new shaving gear he has in his shave den. And as he writes, I'm using an Omega brush, actually two different ones. The one I have at home is a number 48. I'm getting the hang of using it and use it most every shave lately. But here's the main point I wanted to highlight from his email due to previous conversations we've had about this particular product. He continues here, the other product I recently purchased that I really like are the Treat Carbon Steel DE blades. Very smooth. I can get up to 4 shaves with one of them, and they are cheap, $7.99 for 100. I don't see why everyone doesn't use them. They do have a bit more blade feel in an aggressive razor, but not bad. Only drawback is I have to dry them off and drop them in a little dish of olive oil so they don't rust. I have been using them exclusively for around 2 weeks. Rodney, thank you very, very much for this because we've had a discussion and a shave tip about dropping razor blades into these Treat Carbon razor blades into a small dish of mineral oil between shaves so they don't rust. And that particular shaving tip came from viewer Dave Lindberg, and he described how he uses a Treat Carbon razor blade, and in between shaves, he puts it in a little dish of mineral oil to preserve it so it doesn't rust, to stop that rust. And here Rodney is using olive oil, and it's working for him. So folks, there you go. Give it a try. Get some Treat Carbon blades because they're only $8 for 100 of them. And if you want to prevent rust, all you have to do is between shaves, just leave them in a little dish of mineral oil or, as Rodney is doing, olive oil, and that should prevent the rust. I am really excited about giving this a try, and I will report my findings down the road. Rodney, thanks again very, very much. Now, just a note, during the show, by force of habit, I've been saying, hey, we'll have links below. Last week, YouTube blocked temporarily the publication of Second Cup, the podcast, because they said, hey, you know what? There's a link here that is rather suspect, and we're going to block the broadcast until you correct that. So I went into the description where I usually have a lot of product links, and sure enough, there was some link there that I did not recognize, that I did not insert or type into the description. So I deleted it, and I informed YouTube that it was no longer there. And I told them I have no idea how that link got into the description. So I'm really curious as to what was going on during the transfer of my podcast from the Spotify platform to the YouTube platform. Not entirely sure. So I am going to omit links this week for this show just to see if another suspect link just pops up, because last week there were a lot of links on the page, And this one was kind of hidden amongst all those links. So I'm just going to omit links. And if for some reason something pops up, I can point to it and tell YouTube, hey, I didn't add this. The only thing I put in there was a brief introductory description, and that's it. So, that's what's going to happen this week. So I apologize for not having links to any of the products we've talked about on today's show, but I want to see exactly what's going on to find out how something like that was inserted into the description when I didn't do it. So thanks for your patience and thank you for your understanding. And I'm sure that YouTube will get to the bottom of this. And I thank them for doing their due diligence on this. Thanks very, very much to everyone at YouTube for finding these kinds of things and reporting them to creators so that we can take care of them and make sure that everybody has a wonderful listening experience. Thanks again to YouTube. And folks, thanks for your patience and understanding. Now, before I get out of here, I'm going to recommend a movie to you. I happened to sit down and start watching this movie. Now, before I go any further, I don't watch movies in one sitting. I kind of piecemeal them because of everything else going on. I'll watch maybe 15 or 20 minutes and then stop it and go on to something else. And then a day or two later, I'll come back to it and pick up where I left off. That's the beauty of streaming services, I guess, right? But I happen to have this movie not only in streaming, I own it not only in streaming, but also on disc. It's Rogue One, a Star Wars story. From Lucasfilm comes an epic adventure, Rogue One, a Star Wars story. In a time of conflict, a group of unlikely heroes band together on a mission to steal the plans to the Death Star, the Empire's ultimate weapon of destruction. Yeah, you guessed it. This is a prequel to the original 1977 Star Wars, also known as Episode 4 now. But the very first Star Wars that was released back in 1977, this is a prequel to that. And boy, do they do a great job of leading up to the 1977 original right at the end of this one. No spoilers here. You got to watch it. I think this is one of the best prequels to the Star Wars canon ever made. This was really, really good. All the characters were great. All the actors were great. The effects were wonderful. And this is, I think, the only Star Wars movie that doesn't open up with the familiar Star Wars logo and big, bold music that all the Star Wars films opened up with. It just opens up in a very, very different way. So you know that it's going to be a different kind of Star Wars movie, but it's a very, very satisfying prequel. I may have talked about this once before on Second Cup, but I'm going to talk about it again because I just happened to find it on my streaming services. Again, I own it. I started watching it, and wow, I was just pulled right in because I hadn't watched it for a while, and I had forgotten some parts here and there, and it was great, really, really good. And they do a couple of things here in the movie with some classic Star Wars characters. That's all I'm going to say. No spoilers here. Just watch it. When it happens, you'll see it. You'll appreciate it. You'll think, wow, that was great. And again, a fantastic, fantastic ending that leads up right into the beginning of the 1977 Star Wars movie. It's just perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Terrific, terrific movie. Again, Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Check it out. It really is probably, in my opinion, one of the best prequels, sequels, if you will, to the Star Wars timeline. Movies, just really, really very, very satisfying. A great, great movie. And I think a lot of folks out there, when you look at the Star Wars prequels and sequels, they've been okay, but a lot of folks out there are a little bit underwhelmed by them. This one is very, very satisfying and does a great job of leading into the original 1977 Star Wars. Check it out, Rogue One, a Star Wars story. And that wraps up another Second Cup. Thanks so much for tuning in again. I really do appreciate it. I sure hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, please share, please subscribe, and pass it along to a fellow wet shaver or friend. My thanks to everyone who commented and contributed to today's show, and I mean this sincerely. Without you, this microphone would be silent. If Second Cup or the Monday Morning Mailbag aren't showing up in your regular podcast feed, please drop me a line at mondaymailbag@gmail.com, and we'll try to get it all sorted out. So again, thank you all very much. I look forward to getting together with you again on these podcast airwaves. Until then, enjoy the day, enjoy your shave, and enjoy that second cup.